Here.
Jerry Ann Evans. Here. John R. Piper.
Here.
Ronnie Jack.
Here.
Takes us to the minutes of the December 5th, 2016 regular session. There are no additions or corrections. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. Seeing there is none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4 in favor, 0 opposed. Next item on the agenda is public participation. Individuals addressing the council are asked to step to the microphone and clearly state the name and address before speaking. We have a 5-minute time limit. And there should be a piece of paper with the, put your name and address on, it will be there shortly. Okay. If there is none, we will move to the city manager's report.
Since we have 2 holidays in January, both on the first and third Mondays, I'm suggesting we just have it the following Tuesday unless council has another option or objection or whatever. We can look at other dates, but right now that's the way, looks like probably the best times. I don't think we can avoid one of the meetings. Sometimes we do that as well, but we probably have enough items that will need to be addressed. Also, we're looking at a potential EDOC and council meeting. This one will not include park board unless they just want to attend because it has no park board issues, but it would be mostly for incentives for industry, economic development. We talked about that. The 17th may work at, and we also talked about doing, I think the group wanted to do 4 o'clock because it may take more than an hour to go through that, so that would give 2 hours time before the council meeting. I'll tentatively put that down, and then if you all will think about it, we'll try to set something. For
Did you say a date on that?
What was that?
Did you say a date? I'm sorry.
Oh, the 17th meeting? Yes, there was a, public hearing downstairs today at this meeting for another deal, so we'll want to try to do it the next meeting. Or the second one in January. On the sewer projects, the work's continuing on the F0001 sub-basin. Busy sewer crews working on the system in the past week or so. Work at the sewer plant's continuing. They've had a few days where weather just kept them out, but that's still scheduled, I think, for substantial completion on March 18th. The Start Smart Grant program that I was just talking about is the public hearing is going on from 5:30 to whenever it gets done downstairs. That's going along well. Everything's going fine with that so far. Commercial demolitions, just put a note in the packet about where those are as far as cases for non-compliance, working on those. And residential demolitions, we'll get back on that as soon as we can get staffing up to handle those. There's several more we'd like to get on the list. So that's all I have.
Any additions or corrections or questions? Okay, that takes us to unfinished business. We have a second reading on Bill 2016-51. Oh, excuse me. And that's tabled, so we have a second final reading on Bill 2016-51.
Bill 2016-54, an ordinance authorizing the city manager of the city of Cameron, Clinton and DeKalb counties, Missouri, to enter into a professional services agreement with Bartlett and West Incorporated for design of a pedestrian bridge over Sunrise Lake Spillway.
I will entertain a motion to pass Bill 2016-54 on second reading.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
I just have a couple of things real quick here. Mark, have you ever done a survey on anything with the trails out there? Bridge, any of it? Just out of curiosity.
What kind of survey?
Like number of people that are actually using it. I know we've done visuals, we drive by and you can see is there or isn't there cars or whatever.
Right. I'm not sure. We have talked about having somebody physically stationed out there sometime to do talk to people as they come in. Of course, that's going to be a difficult thing to achieve, but I'd have to ask Drew or the Parks, Steve, if they have done anything. Steve might have done something, informally. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'd like to, before we spend any more money out there, I'd really like to make a motion that we actually do a survey, just to verify things such as how many people are going out there, how many people are reusing it, so if there's 10 cars out there today, are we getting the same 10 people the next time? Also, if they're from inside or outside the city, if they're outside the city, I'd like to know what's the average spend that they're actually bringing in. I keep hearing that we're bringing in lots of money by doing this. I don't think anybody knows. And before we keep spending more money on it, I'd like to put that out there.
Well, and staffing it somehow, we have to have volunteers or somebody willing to do it, because.
I'd say let's pay for it. Pay a small fee to have someone go out there and survey. It'd be a lot less expensive than continuing to spend on this at this point. We've already got part of it, so it's already in a standpoint that it's being used. So let's find out how many people are using it. Do I just make a motion
Well,
to?
is this, so you're wanting to make a motion
To do a
to
survey.
direct the city manager to conduct a survey of the use of the park, but you also want that motion to occur before, essentially be a motion to do that and a motion to table this ordinance?
That's what I would be asking.
I mean, yeah, you could make a motion to do that, but obviously it still needs to get,
So I'd be voting on.
yeah, so it's okay.
I'd like to make a motion to do that.
To table and do a survey, is that your motion?
Yes, please.
Hey, Mark, what committee would this go to? As far as even just the discussion of the survey in general? I mean, I don't see an issue with discussing the survey. I don't agree necessarily to table the issue, but the survey might be something interesting worth talking about.
Well, what time of year are you gonna do the survey? You know, it's gonna matter. It's,
Yeah, I'm not talking about doing it now.
Something to look into if we do.
How much we're willing to spend, because you set somebody out there daylight to dark, they're gonna give at least $10 an hour, it's $120 to $150 a day, and if you do it for 10 days, it's $1,500.
I get that.
That's just for one person.
But I don't think it's necessarily not something we can be against discussing in committee. See how they feel about it.
I see no reason to delay this project. If they want to try and get a feel for who's using the trail, that's fine, but there's no point in delaying this. So, I did not hear a second, so I believe it, if there's no second for it.
Any further discussion?
Yep, got a couple more. Didn't figure it pass. I'd also like to ask Mark, last time something that Drew Davis brought up during the discussion was that there hasn't been a whole lot of work with the folks that live out there. I'd like to say that we should probably get out there and talk to those folks that do live out there around the trails, checking with them, making sure they're okay with convicts out there running around in their backyard. I certainly wouldn't want that happening with me, regardless of supervision. You can see what's out there when you're in the backyard working, whatever. So I'd like to make a motion to do that as well. Okay. My motion is just to have Mark work with whoever, Drew or whoever, to go out there and actually just kind of work with the citizens that live out there. Drew brought up a good point. You know, we're not working with those folks necessarily. I think to be a good neighbor to those folks, we might even find that they're willing to do some things as well for us.
we have worked with them. We've had several conversations with several landowners as needed out there.
Okay.
We know some of them, they don't want a trail in their backyard, period. So, I mean, there's not much we can do about that, but.
And Drew's the one that said that, Drew Davis said that if he could have his gates, he'd pay for the fence. And
Yep.
then he came back for the next meeting, he said, no, that's not what I meant. Now, if we pay for the gates, not the whole fence. So he needs to get his story
exact cost. I know the last time, I think the number bandied around was $1,100. I'd like to make a motion that that's it, that that's all we spend. If that's, I'm being told that that's all it's going to cost us, I'd like to have that in the minutes as such, and as a motion that we will not, as the city of Cameron, spend any more than $1,100 going forward on this trail.
Kind of a broad statement, considering we're not talking about one particular item. I guess it needs to be more.
I would further add that the hospital foundation has donated $5,000 this year for trail enhancement, and they're scheduled to donate another $5,000 next year. So even if it runs over, there's money there that somebody else is paying because they believe this trail is good.
That's great. I'm really happy to hear that we're bringing it in. I'm just saying that was the number I was told last time, and that everybody voted on was that it was only going to cost us $1,100 more. I'm just saying, let's just put a motion out there that says we won't spend more than $1,100 unless it's funded by the hospital or outside donations.
We're voting on this particular item based on the information he gave us at the last meeting, which is that we will spend $1,100. I don't know if the motion is necessary.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Well, I don't think that, Drew's 1,100, I don't think that was a hard cap, obviously, so we can discuss it, but Drew's probably better able to discuss that than I am, but
It's an instruction project. Things come up, things happen,
Things get more expensive.
but it
Yes.
still stays within the budget at the end of the day.
The expected cash outlay is $1,100, is that correct?
For the construction of this phase.
Yeah, for this phase. You do other phases, it's not gonna be the same. But that would be a different grant and all that anyway, so.
Well, I don't figure I want to get that motion either. So my last motion, and I'm hoping that you seriously consider this, I'd like to make a motion at this time for the bridge and the entire park. The veterans spoke last time, and quite honestly, I love the veterans. That's why I'm in the Sons of American Legion. I don't know of anybody else that could consider themselves more patriotic than me. I would like to make a motion that we name the entire park Cameron Veteran and Purple Heart Park. We've got a lot of different ways that we could at least market that to get more veterans, to get more people to stop. So I'd like to make a motion that we name the entire trail system and park out there, again, Cameron Veterans and Purple Heart Park. Or even just Purple Heart Park.
Point of order, Mayor. I don't have any problem with naming it after the veterans at all, but that's not what this motion is about. The motion that's on the table is to go ahead and proceed with this grant in the second reading.
Can we
And
put that on the next agenda?
I would suggest that's the way to do it, is to have it on a separate agenda.
that could be set up as a resolution or something, a resolution maybe for part.
Would you want to make a discussion item, then make a decision, then we can come back with a resolution?
That'd be great. Thank you.
If there's nothing further, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
3 in favor, 1 opposed. Next item on the... I'll entertain a motion to pass bill 2016-54 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion?
Darlene Breckenridge, Dennis M. Clark,
Yes.
Jerry Ann Evans,
Yes.
John R. Weigert,
No.
Ryan Jack.
Yes.
Next takes us to resolution 2016-27.
Resolution 2016-27, a resolution for the city of Cameron, Clinton and DeKalb Counties, Missouri, setting a public hearing date on the voluntary annexation of land located compact and contiguous to the city of Cameron, to the Cameron city limits in Clinton and DeKalb and Caldwell counties.
Entertained motion to pass resolution 2016-27.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
This is a resolution to hold a public hearing at 6 PM on January 17th, as part of the requirements of the annexation process, even though the city owns the land itself.
Any further discussion?
What does it cost, just out of curiosity, when we annex land? Does it just depend on the size of the land? Does it depend on surveys? What's the actual cost? Having it?
I mean, outside of everybody showing up, I don't think you don't have to pay like Caldwell County, I don't believe, any money for annexing that land into your corporate city limits. I don't know of any costs that are directly associated with the annexation process.
Okay,
You don't have to write Clinton County $2,500 check or anything.
okay.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
3 in favor, 1 opposed. Takes us to new business. We're going to appoint mayor's advocacy council. If there is no objections, I'm going to put 3 of them together and separate the other 2 due to conflict. Quentin Lovejoy, Troy Green, and Mary Johnson. All right,
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to appoint Quentin Lovejoy, Troy Green, and Mary Johnson.
Second. So,
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? 4 in favor, 0 opposed. It takes us to Houston Jack, and Ronnie will be recusing himself due to conflict of interest. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Houston Jack to the Mayor's Advocacy Council.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 3 in favor, 0 opposed. John will be recusing himself this go around. I will entertain a motion to appoint John Fire, to the Mayor's Advocacy Council.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Next item on the agenda is the library board appointments. The following, Pat Steele, Linda Morris, and Ken Alford are currently serving and wish to continue to serve as long as council doesn't have an issue with that. We can leave those together as well. I will entertain a motion to appoint Pat Steele, Linda Morris, and Ken Alford to the library board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4 in favor, 0 opposed. Next item on the agenda is the second public participation. Anybody wishing to speak? Please step forward. That takes us to miscellaneous. Barbara?
And nothing.
John?
I just wanted to thank some kids that we have up at the high school, Jacob Butler and Mackenzie Davis, put together an adopt a vet for this Christmas season, and saw that on the forum and in the newspaper, and I just wanted to give them kudos. There's so many times today that we see these younger folks, young adults, and we see the bad things that they do a lot. But when we have good kids like this in town, I just want to say kudos to them, and maybe this thing can continue to grow here. So.
Dennis?